All right, so we're in a Tesla Model 3 full self-driving, version 12.3.4, latest and greatest. Version 12 is here, and it's running on the neural net rather than 300,000 plus lines of code, according to Tesla. So super exciting that the car is using solely machine-based learning to look at videos and drive the car by itself. Incredible. So far I've been thoroughly impressed. I've been driving the car with FSD for about a week now, maybe a little over. I just got 12.3.4 today. I upgraded from 12.3.3. And today we're just going to be driving around the city. I'm going to edit the video to make sure that, in appreciation for your time, that when I'm sitting in traffic, I'm just going to speed up all those if I'm driving down a straight road. As amazing as going through a green light is, I'm going to, for some of those, I'm just going to, if nothing's notable, I'm just going to speed through those in the editing. Wow, I got a really nice background. I really lucked out there. So yeah, let's get to it. We're going to try to get as many cool intersections and cool parts of the city that are just, interesting to just look at sometimes. So let's hit the road and let's share this experience. I really appreciate you watching. So let's take a look. All right, so just to give a quick overview, we've got a few waypoints that I've saved as S1 through S5 for stop 1 through stop 5 in various parts of the city where I believe it's going to be fairly straightforward for the car in terms of destinations and some cool spots to see in the city as well. But that's our route. We're going to go up to City Hall, up the Parkway to the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and then go on a winding road called Kelly Drive that's next to the river. This car's kind of in our lane right now. Can't really blame them because the lines aren't drawn on the road back there, but it's really up to each driver's discretion to work as a team to get through an intersection like that in the city. Alright, so we're coming up to our first waypoint at City Hall. We're stop 1. Hopefully it's the continuity of each waypoint is gonna be seamless, but we certainly shall see if that's the case soon enough. It's actually getting in a parking spot. Okay. Oh, it's actually saying navigation complete, press accelerator to resume, which I just did. Alright, so I don't think FSD does reversing right now. So I'm gonna just get us on our way back on the road. And engages to our next stop. This line should turn a darker blue. Let's see. Hopefully once we pass it. Alright, so this is more my fault, and I'll next stop, we're gonna have to remove this stop 1 waypoint, and that should get us going to our next destination. So good to know. It should not have stopped for that pedestrian. We had the right of way, but it seems to stop in, I guess, in the sake of safety. But to act, that's not what most people would expect. I guess it could be argued that there are, in some ways, that was less safe, because you could get rear-ended by somebody behind that would expect you to go through the light. Like a food bank going on back there. It was being somewhat indecisive on which lane it wanted to continue through at that intersection. Somewhat understandably. It's a little bit ambiguous. Alright, we're approaching our stop 2. And we should be removing our stop 2 destination so that it can continue once we get a little bit closer. And this is really cool because, you know, theoretically, like, I don't have to be in the driver's seat to program this, right? The pathing is going to need some huge updates. That's one limitation with full self-driving, in my opinion. And I'm going to do a video entirely separate, a short video about that, about the GPS and maps. I think they're gonna, and I'm sure they probably know this, but the routing on here can there's certainly limitations in the paths that it sometimes decides to take. It'll do a U instead of going straight sometimes. Alright, let's see. But yeah, the map is very basic at this point, and I'm looking forward to that getting updated. And I guess going back to the point of the pathing could be done remotely, or at least in a programmatic way. All right, so we're very close to stop 2. Let's remove that and let's start heading to stop 3. Oh my God. Okay, well. Oh my God, sorry. Okay, that was interesting. Yeah, stuff like that. It was setting that it had slammed on the brakes to I don't want to say slammed on the brakes, but it had braked pretty heavily for the pedestrian, and the pedestrian thought, hey, this car just slowed down significantly, they're letting me go, but then it started creeping up. That's stuff that's just unacceptable in terms of safety. Something that through iterations I'd like to see improved. With this being the first iteration that's publicly available of version 12, this is a very short merge onto the highway, so I think a great showing of its capabilities. We had a Jeep behind us about 100 or less feet behind us. I think that's like, I don't know, 30 meters or so. Oh shit. We gotta remove stop 3 just in time. Stop 4 next to the back into Center City. Actually just got out of the right-hand lane, and it said we're changing lanes to get out of the rightmost lane. I don't know if that's a law. I know generally in the US the fast or the passing lane is on the left-hand side, and if you're not overtaking or going at least a little bit above up to speed, you should be in the central lane, or not in the very leftmost lane. So I maybe to allow people to take their exit possibly, but from a viewpoint of rules of the road, I don't see the reasoning behind that. We are coming up to our next waypoint, and let's edit the trip to remove stop 4 to start heading to our final destination. Like this, where it said we could be in any of the 4 lanes until just now, but anybody going this direction on the highway, wow, those were some big potholes. Anybody going this direction on the highway should have anticipated that they would need to be in the 2 leftmost lanes to make that split of the highway. Defensively putting yourself in a place that's safer, that you're not going to have to change lanes at the last minute. I'd love to see that implemented in the way that they can coerce the neural network to see things in a more defensive stance in its driving, and more aggressive in showing the expectation of, hey, this is the direction that I'm going, and this is the road that I'm taking, not getting in the lane that it needs to be in at the last minute, like it just did. We're supposed to take that. We're supposed to take that exit. So, yeah, I more so, blame that partially on the GPS, and pairing the GPS with saying, hey, here's where we're gonna turn. We got to do this sooner. to set that expectation of our intentions in the car. Not an issue. We will re-engage, and knowing that's a limitation, we will try to possibly handhold it into the lane that it needs to be in prior to us getting closer to where we need to turn. It's going way too fast right now for all this traffic that as soon as we popped over that hill, like, it should have been, okay, I see this traffic, these cars on the left are stopped, we should have been slowing down way sooner than it did back there. I did not appreciate how fast it was going. That is certainly one way to get rear-ended. Yeah, not too happy about that. Alright, so we should be taking this exit on the right. So we're basically doing a U-turn. We just took the exit, and now the on-ramp is just on the other side. Alright, so that truck's making an illegal right. We had the right of way, and now the car is not happy about this. It is showing that truck by how closely we are driving to it on this really precarious on-ramp. Okay, luckily there were not many cars behind us in close proximity, but you're doing a great job, car. See if it updates. Yeah, it just updated the speed limit from 35 to 45. I may have missed seeing myself a 35 speed limit sign, but they are variable speed limit signs on this road, and it's really cool that it was able to see that the speed limit sign on a digital display and capture that information and update it right here where it shows the speed limit of the road that we're currently on. Looks like they're tearing up the road here, so we may have some construction obstacles ahead, may or may not. pilot, like over the past like 5 years, just in general, is that near the beginning, there were times when it would just like brake hard on the highway, and like that's not good. Like that's really, really bad. Like up ahead, we have a merge coming in, a road on our right where vehicles are merging in. We have a gray SUV coming in. It has already highlighted in blue, notating that it is a merging vehicle, and the car actually decided to change lanes since we had room to allow space for that vehicle. I'm impressed. If someday the vehicle is able, I mean, it's uploading the data, maybe not all of it that it sees, to the mothership, so to speak, but to start thinking about traffic and driving as an ecosystem, and thinking about, okay, well, what's the car, 5 cars ahead of me doing, and how can I optimize to optimize the flow of traffic based on not just the vehicle that we're in, but other vehicles ahead and behind us. I think that'll be really cool one day once the neural network has that access. Like I said, I don't know if the vehicle is able to upload all this information from 7 different cameras with the LTE speeds that it has currently. I think that it would need something like 5G or better to do something like that. It'll be interesting what the future holds for something like that. I'm sure the possibilities are endless. I mean, if you had an entire fleet of vehicles, you could have every single vehicle in traffic start and stop at the same time, and I mean, it would probably reduce the traffic by like over 50% at least. Like I'd ballpark it at 90% or better, that it would reduce traffic if every single car was full self-driving. Greater than 90%, without a doubt. Approaching our final destination. Hopefully not in the sense of the movie series, but we're going to add one last destination to give us some city driving, a few more turns, and lights that it's going to have to overcome. I thought it was actually going to stop at that yellow light. Like in the past, it typically exercises extreme caution with yellow lights. Alright, let's do this. We just removed our previous final destination and have added one more to give us some driving in the city. a bit confused by the GPS, I believe. So we're gonna, rather than going around City Hall, it wanted to take this path. I'd like to be in the right-hand lane. I don't know if they might have seen that car. There we go. Yeah, the camera's a little higher than, I'm kind of short. It may have seen that car that was stopped on the right and decided not to go in the right-hand lane. May or may not have. Alright, so to end this video, we're currently in Rittenhouse Square, really nice part of the city. We're just going to do a couple loops around the neighborhood, so yeah, I'll leave it edited at regular speed. If you'd like to, just check out the city, feel free, but other than that, this is our final destination, so I really appreciate you again for watching. And have a great day. Just kidding.